Hello, this is Chris Throgmorton. I'm returning your call.
Hi, how are you?
I'm alright.
Good. So, like I said, I'm returning. I think you left a voicemail for Melissa Keys at our agency.
Yes, sir.
Um, and I think the issue, as I understand it, is the forensic advocate in the criminal setting.
Yes, I was just trying to locate some solid information on that. It
So,
seems as if your organization would be perfect for it, but from what I understand, you guys don't handle this, and I'm just sort of trying to figure out who does.
and that's kind of a really good question because I don't know anybody specifically who does handle this aspect of what's called for in the statute. We do not. Part of the reason, and the main reason why we do not, is that we receive federal grants to run. Like that's what we operate off of is federal grants,
Right.
and our federal grants specifically don't allow us to be involved in criminal matters. The work, the advocacy we do can't be in criminal matters the same way it can be, for instance, in family matters. So, if an individual with a disability had a custody issue or a divorce issue, we'd be prohibited from involving ourselves in something like that as well. Um, Oddly enough, I've not seen um, with us not in it. Maybe that's why I haven't seen it, but I have not seen this used or an agency that does it. I think that there was some talk at the Autism Society of Indiana of getting this program going. That it sounded a whole lot like what's called for in the statute, but I'm not sure if that is currently in place or
Um,
if they're still working on it
I
or where that stands with them.
spoke with Dan Ward, referred me to Samantha Drudge at the Northeast Autism Society of Indiana.
Okay.
She's seemed a little bit familiar with it, or at
Okay.
least had looked into whatever information was relayed to her enough to,
Mm-hmm.
be able to. I didn't have to explain anything to her at least. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but on my own, I've contacted the. All right, essentially, IU Bloomington has a statutorily created autism resource center for the state of
Mm-hmm.
Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and my thought pattern, my logic was that with IU Moore Law there, um, at IU Bloomington as well, it's I believe they were just ranked number one public affairs program in the country. They're top 10 public law schools in the country. They've got a number two social psychology program for 2018 out of the entire country. So
Mm-hmm.
I essentially was trying to locate where the training program, because it says an individual that would complete a training program, they'd be court appointed, and then it has
Yeah.
what they would be expected to do as an advocate
Right.
later
Right.
on in the statute. Um, and I was sort of trying to locate, where the potential for this training program could actually be implemented. So
Yeah.
I essentially tried to start at IU Bloomington because, in my opinion, they'd be perfect for it as well.
What did you call the IIDC? Is that what you called?
Yeah, the
Okay.
yeah, that's the
The
what is
Indiana
it?
Institute on Disability Community.
Yeah, disability and
Yep.
community.
Yep.
As well as I spoke to I believe I spoke with, that's Kathy Pratt, ain't it? Yeah, I think that's Kathy Pratt as their director
Mm-hmm.
there.
I think you're right. Yep.
As well as I spoke to, I can't remember the name, but I spoke with someone from the Governor's Council for Individuals with Disabilities as
Yep.
well. They seem to be at a bit of a loss as to how this is actually being implemented, or if it has prior to. I've been appointed one of these
Mm-hmm.
a court appointed forensic advocate, and essentially, from what I understand, my judge emailed Indiana Disability Rights. They were able to get my contact information from my attorney. He contacted me,
Mm-hmm.
and it seemed more of, in my personal opinion, like what he was focused on was why my attorney can't do this, which is because he's sort of not allowed to, as an officer of the court, speak about the same matters that an advocate would be expected to speak on,
Mm-hmm.
as well as it didn't seem that I was denied for any personal reasons. That it it seems more that this is a great idea that hasn't come to its full fruition yet. Um,
I think that's right. I mean, like I
I
said, I
you
don't.
know I don't think it's anybody's fault. I'm not trying to blame
Mm-hmm.
anybody. I think that it's as I understand, this was a House Enrolled Act that went into effect July 1st, 2015.
Right.
And there's a statutory definition. There's the creation of it. They cover civil liabilities, who covers fees and stuff.
I've looked over the entire statute.
Um,
I mean, it sounds like, in the forensic advocate, I mean, like you said, it almost contemplates them having the expertise in a variety of things, but especially even
right. It
to
seems
speak on
as if somebody would have to have
reducing
a.
recidivism and treatment programs and services available.
In my
You know, it
opinion,
sounds like,
you'd need 2 degrees from college. You'd need at least some sort of psychology, sociology, some sort of major, and I mean, at least a paralegal, I would think, to take on that position in a courtroom. But like I said, my concerns are that it's a great idea, and like I said, I found funding for this actually in my, what is it? It's the Community Corrections Advisory Board, for like deferral programs, pretrial diversion, things of this nature. They have funding for this, forensic advocate, in their statutes. But I've spoke with my sheriff's department, a local judge, his staff, county commissioner's office locally, and I can't seem to really locate. I'm the guy bringing this idea basically to all of them, and
right.
they're interested. They think it's a wonderful idea. They just they don't seem like they know where to go with it because they seem to come to the end of the trail with information. So I'm just sort of seeing. I'm calling everybody I can find. Like I said, I've
Yeah.
spoke with a good bit of individuals in Indianapolis so far, and like I said, it's nobody's fault. It just seems to be that everybody has the same general answer that it this is a pretty cool idea, but we don't know where it's actually been implemented before. To my
Right.
understanding, I'm the only person as well, locally that has shown any interest in this. So I've been appointed one, and I'm trying to figure out how to actually complete that training program to be appointed as one as well, because as far as inclusion goes and the ability to self-advocate, an individual in the courtroom who has a communicational issue with the justice system, I would think that this would be something that the ADA applies to. Um, and I was wondering, like, I think I've left a message with somebody from ADA Indiana that I'm waiting to hear back from to see if they maybe, possibly by chance, have heard about anything about this. But I expect not. So, yeah, like I said, man, I'm open to whatever you can find or whoever you can refer me to, because even if I'm not able to, to see this happen, locally and immediately for my issue, it's something that seems like it could help a great deal of people once fully implemented and in some sort of a functioning, fashion. So,
Yeah.
like
I
I
mean, like I
said,
said, it sounds like the statute got passed by the legislator, and nobody got direction on how to implement it. Is basically what it sounded like. Um,
right, and
you know,
I've looked into several of these organizations, their mission statements, what they claim they do, and what they're supposed to do. It seems like everything either stops just short of involvement in criminal matters, which is a common thing. Like, as far as civil rights go, anytime there's an overlap with criminal matter, it seems to be sort of a disqualifier. So
yeah,
I've looked, like, what was I looking into? Indiana Legal Services, they only cover civil stuff.
right, right,
And then I found that language in a few different organizations, but other than that, it seems like they would be perfect.
yeah,
But it's just where it intersects with the court system seems to be where it is meeting the most trouble coming into play, but it's actually created for the court system. So I don't know how you know, what I mean, I would think that you all
Yeah, no,
get.
it's understandable.
I would think that every organization that's worth its weight in actually doing something positive is probably getting a couple bucks from the federal government with those stipulations. So I'm not really, sure how anyone could do what it's outlining.
Right. Well, in our instance, we're exclusively federally funded, so we don't have state money in addition to the federal funds. Like that's all we operate is off of federal funds. That's not all. That's not the case for everybody. But I mean, yeah, I know that. I mean, the Autism Society would be my first thought. I know you reach out to them. The other two that I would think would be maybe worth a call just to see what did the program as it's described in the statute is very similar to the CASA program that's created for children.
Correct.
And CASA's, it sounds like CASA's for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities and autism. That sounds like what it is.
That's kind of what I got from it as well.
And that CASA program is run through the Indiana Office of Court Services.
See,
so maybe a call to them.
I know.
See what their thoughts are on it.
I was wondering about the Indiana Coalition for Court Access as well, if they would know anything.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
They're fairly new. They're still in. They got a task force investigating what they're going to do at stage. But
so that may be a good one. Like I said, the Indiana Office of Court Services might be good because again they house the CASA program, which obviously this is different, but it's similar. And then the last one I would refer is potentially the Indiana Bees office. I don't know.
Bureau of Developmental Disability Services.
Right. That would
okay.
be. I mean, obviously it's disability related, but I don't know. I know for sure. I don't think they do anything like this, but that may be an entity who may, have some interest in that because it's right up their alley, disability-wise, and they're housed within the Family and Social Services Administration. So those would be my two recommendations. Unfortunately, I don't have anything better for you because I don't know. I don't have any, any evidence or any past knowledge of this being implemented anywhere.
I appreciate the time you've taken to look into it more than anything.
No, absolutely.
It's.
I wish you good luck. I mean, it sounds like it's a good program, and it's in the statute. It's just a matter of finding somebody who has that qualification that the statute requires,
right.
who is doing it.
I mean, and if I'm sort of. At this point, I'm accepting that I may be going through some sort of a process of elimination before I can try to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I always thought I'd write a book to be famous, but maybe I can fill in some of these legislative gaps.
There you go.
They have a Partners in Policy Making program that I just missed the deadline to enroll for, but maybe I can get some sort of,
Well, that's through the Governor's Council for People with Disabilities, and I highly recommend it. It's a very good program.
Yeah, I was reading up on it. I'm very interested. That's another idea that I think is very, very good. But yeah, like I said, man, I appreciate you taking the time to speak with
Absolutely.
me about this. It's starting to turn into a little bit of a kind of a fun adventure tracking it down.
Yeah.
So it's if you don't mind, I've basically told everybody else I've spoken with if I later locate this actual solid information or can get a definitive answer, I'll maybe try to get a call to you and let you know what I find out.
Absolutely. I would appreciate it actually.
But yeah, because it's unknown. I mean, as far as I know, I'm the only person that knew about it. I'm trying to find the author still. So it's.
Well, I mean, part of our job, part of our role is that if if it's a disability-related issue and we don't do it, then we like to have a referral for the people who can help. And in this situation, unfortunately, we don't. So, if you do track something down, an organization that does it, that has the expertise and that kind of works underneath it, I would absolutely appreciate a call just to kind of let us know.
More than happy to. That's kind of why I'm pursuing it. So the next individual doesn't run into a long pathway of trying to track it down. So, yeah, I'll let you know what I find out, man. Like I said, thanks again.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you live anywhere else other than Northwest Indiana, it might be beautiful outside and enjoy that. But if
All right, man.
you're up here, stay warm. Yep. Have a good day.
All right, bye.